How does the internet scale to handle millions and billions of requests? Okay, let's go over that. So you are over here in the corner and it's you got your little phone and it sends a signal to a computer in a warehouse with the data that you wanted. Okay. This is essentially, the cloud. Okay. Now imagine there's not just one of you because that would make this problem too easy. Imagine there's like 999, almost a million people, right? That one server, that one server right here can not handle that, all right? So we need to come up with a solution to handle that by scaling. Now, the obvious solution, if you have a bunch of people, would be to just make, more of the servers, right? So that it scales. Okay. The problem with this is even if you do scale these bad boys, how do you make sure that you're constantly being routed to an available server that has that software that you need or the file that you might need? It's a great question. So the solution for that is called a load balancer. Okay. A load balancer is going to sit in front of all of these computers that you had, one, two, and three, and it's able to sit in front of it and serve the request to whichever computer is available. Keyword there is available because these will scale up and down as needed. So the load balancer is just going to go, hey, everybody in this group right here, that's valid. I'm going to target them. What are some techniques for sending those requests? Well, the easiest one we have is round robin, right? So what round robin is you basically just go, um, let's do the first one first, then the second one, then a third request comes in. We're going to do the third one. Okay, we went all the way around. So now the fourth request comes in. We're going to hit number one again, then two. You get it. It's round robin. The other one that we have is hashing. Okay. So if a particular request comes in with a certain IP, so basically if somebody's like, hey, Chase keeps sending us requests, where should we send his thing to? Where should we send his request to? Which computer? We're going to do what's called hashing. So they take all my information, whatever it may be, like IP address, my name, just something on my request, and they're going to run it through a filter that returns a certain number. That number is going to be associated with one of these servers in our scaling group. So that way, every time I visit, I'm going to be visiting the same server. Now, if that server goes down, the hashing algorithm is redone and the table is updated to send to the new server, but not that big of a deal. Those are like the main ones. You could do something like least uh, burdened. I guess is a good word. There's definitely a better term for that, but essentially it goes which one of these computers in our scaling set is the least burden one. All right, which one's the most available, and then naturally it's going to go through that. Now that has to be wired into the metrics of the computer, and you have to be able to see the CPU usage and stuff like that. But yeah, the most common one that is being used typically whenever we're talking about like services like AWS that have application load balancers, network load balancers, they use a hashing algorithm, and that is pretty much industry standard. The round robin is easiest conceptually to follow and the easiest to set up, but least burden is also great too. But I would say I don't really see least burden used that much because if you have either one of these going, you should probably not have one computer significantly serving requests. All right. Now you can be like, well, what about that? What if the hashing thing? The hashing algorithm hashes to the same one every single time. Okay, so that's called hot. Hot sharding would be one of the terms. That's more like for DBs, but that's a whole other concept in itself. But let's just make sure we understand this concept of having load balancers in front of computers to be able to serve infinite requests, no matter how many millions of people we have coming in.